Time now for your forecast first. WRBL News 3 First Alert Weather.
While some of you got inches of rain, Buffalo Simon, our Skywatcher, did today, and a clear view over here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So now that the radar has taken a little rest, when we get these isolated showers coming in this forecast, they're going to certainly pack a punch at times. And we're going to talk more about that coming up. But a front is what we're focused on. Oh, yes, the First Alert Weather Team wants to see this slowly slide down. The extended forecast will increase the coverage for rainfall, but not right away. The humid air remains, and for the rest of this evening, we're looking pretty good in the overnight. We're going to see some stars, some clouds, a little mix of everything. Back to the heat and some storms coming up. The news starts now.
On your side, this is News 3 Night Watch.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for trusting News 3. I'm Phil Scoggins.
And I'm Teresa Whitaker. In a story you'll see only on 3, lightning struck a Muskogee County School Board member's home earlier this evening.
Mark Cantrell says he was sitting in his recliner relaxing when he heard a loud crack. Then he smelled smoke. News 3's Shakira Speaks joining us now with more details. Shakira.
Phil, Teresa, red dirt, broken cement, and torn window blinds are what you see when you walk up to Mark Cantrell's home. You could see from a distance the gaping hole in the ground where the lightning hit. The strike whipped through his office window, buried into the ground, and traveled about 70 to 90 feet to the driveway. Cantrell says the lightning split and hit both sides of his yard.
Of course, you see, it broke the sidewalk and threw it about 30, 40 feet down there, and then that's an electric dog pen fence, and it went all the way around the house. Now, this is only a wire this big, and it went all the way around here, all the way around the whole house.
When I walked into his office, I immediately smelled smoke. There were shards of glass on the floor and wall insulation everywhere. Sergeant Miller of the Columbus Fire and EMS says she'd never seen anything like it before. So, Bob, is this something that happens often?
It doesn't happen maybe too often, Shakira, but it does happen. And when it does, it will literally take mortar from bricks. It heats up so much, hotter than the surface of the sun. You're talking about a bolt of lightning, only about a ½ inch wide, could do this kind of destruction. There's so much force and energy with this. Imagine what it does to a tree when it hits it directly, and the trees will get split in half sometimes. So there's so much heat, there's so much energy, it just literally takes that mortar and brick. We see fireplaces blown apart often too, but not as often as one would think, but during the summer months, especially across the United States.
Well, if you want to see more pictures and videos, you can find them at WRBL.com. Teresa?
All right, thank you so much, Shakira.
Flashing blue lights and police sirens lit up the streets of Columbus tonight, and not for reasons many people across the city have become accustomed to.
The annual National Night Out, which brings law enforcement and the community together, kicked off from the Columbus Civic Center hours ago. News 3's Darian Aaron was there. He joins us now to recap the evening. Darian.
Teresa and Phil, it might prove to be challenging to find anyone who attended tonight's National Night Out that didn't have a good time. People of all ages, along with law enforcement across several agencies, came together during 30 different stops throughout the city with one shared goal: to bridge the gap through food, fun, and fellowship. Take a look for yourself.
You're going through the city, the lights are going, the sirens are going, the traffic stops for you. You know, we're here to communicate and have fellowship with the community.
Muskogee County Sheriff's Deputy Bass Bourne tells News 3 what National Night Out is all about for him.
You know, having outreach, showing them what we're about, you know, just spending time with them, getting to know one another, whether it's one person or the whole community.
And for one young man during the first stop in Lake Bottom, the impact of the officers was pretty clear.
It's pretty amazing because, like, it's just like the police officers. It was just cool seeing them, and I'm having a great time already.
For many like Ethan, it was an opportunity to celebrate being a kid, and for many adults, it was an opportunity to be a kid again.
Kids want to take pictures in cop cars, on fire trucks. I mean, I think helicopters are cool. So, you know, I mean, I'm a little kid at heart, so it's just fun, you know, having all these different things you could do.
Things to do and aspire to, like perhaps one day wearing a uniform and a badge, or becoming
mechanical engineer and a professional soccer player.
Whatever the profession, whichever the community, National Night Out will continue to work to bridge the divide and widen smiles. Columbus and Phoenix City were among thousands of cities across the country participating in National Night Out. Columbus will celebrate 19 years of observing this national event in 2019. Phil, Teresa.
Thank you, Darian. Now an update for you tonight. A team of investigators has made a capital murder arrest in a 12-year-old cold case involving the disappearance of an Auburn University graduate. In June of 2006, 24-year-old Lori Ann Selinsky vanished from her Auburn home, and just a few days later, her blue Mazda Tribute was found burned on DeKalb Street. Daryl Richard Ennis was a person of interest in that case. He was questioned, abruptly left town, and was never arrested until now. Today, in an emotional news conference with Lori's mom and dad present, District Attorney Brandon Hughes announced the arrest.
Through the result of those efforts, that last week, the Lee County Grand Jury indicted Mr. Daryl Richard Ennis on 2 counts of capital murder. 1 count was murder involving a burglary, and the other count is a murder involving a kidnapping.
Ennis was arrested in Virginia by U.S. Marshals. Investigators confirmed the victim knew him, but details on that relationship or how they determined he was the suspect have not been made public.
Authorities with the Troup County Sheriff's Office say a man tried to kidnap a little girl on Sunday. Authorities say the girl was crossing Reed Road when a man described as white, wearing what appeared to be a wig and driving a small 4-door white car, approached her. They say the man got out of the car and tried to grab the child, but the girl was able to get away and scream as her family rushed to her. Authorities say the man told the girl he was coming back for her before he left. They believe the would-be kidnapper may have been trying to portray himself as a woman. If you have any information that could help authorities, call 911.
Happening today, we now know what happened and prompted a hazmat response at a South Columbus daycare after several students and staff started to feel sick this morning first thing. The staff at Dominion Children's Academy on Casita Road called 911 and evacuated the building before the Columbus Fire and EMS crews could even park their trucks. First responders say they did exactly the right thing after tests inside the daycare revealed dangerous levels of carbon monoxide.
When we got here, all the kids were evacuated by the administration at this location. They did an excellent job calling 911, turning it into the hands of professionals. Come to find out, we went in with our CO detector, found out there was a high level of CO in the building, so I immediately called the hazmat team to this location.
Captain Clay says 1 pregnant teacher and 2 students were rushed to the hospital. Both students were soon released. The teacher, though, was kept for observation a little longer to ensure no complications to her pregnancy. Coming up here on the Night Watch, new sanctions now in place against Iran by the United States.
How this could determine what you pay at the pump, just ahead.
Time for that heat one more time. We check in with 91 today. Not as bad as 97 yesterday. Buffalo Simon receiving almost 2 inches of rain in Taylor County today. That's right, from those thunderstorms. That's what they could produce in a short time. Locally, about 0.02 of an inch in the lightning that we saw earlier, and you saw what it could do. And coming up tomorrow, look for another warm, hot afternoon. Warm in the morning, hot in the afternoon, and isolated storms.